I totally agree. I think fund managers used to say 60-40 because maybe there's an inverse correlation. If your stocks went down, people would flood into bonds, which is seen as a safe asset. And that's what you've just highlighted for our listeners and our viewers is essentially what worked since 1980 till about the 2020.
Great for 40 years. It was absolutely great for 40 years, but it's ended. And as a sign of how bad the damage can be, the year that we had the short-lived Liz Truss administration here in the UK, where we had, I think her administration only lasted a few months, but she launched a mini budget with Kwasi Kwarteng. I think both of them get a bad rap. So I think they were stitched up by our civil service, and they were stitched up by the Treasury and the Bank of England. Nevertheless, the reason I cite that is the year of which the Liz Truss administration, I think, was like the last few months of the year. She launched her mini budget, I think, in the autumn. Between January and autumn of that year, which I think was either 22 or 23, there's a 50-year inflation-linked UK government bond. We call them gilts. There's a 50-year inflation-linked gilt. Between January and autumn of that year, that gilt, that so-called risk-free rate UK government bond, lost 85% of its value. Now, I stress that because every pension fund in the country likely owns that bond. So every pension fund in the country incurred a drawdown of nearly 100% on one holding in its supposedly inflation-linked debt. That is what's capable of happening in the bond market if the government loses control of fiscal policy or monetary policy or inflation. If you think then we're entering a secular bear, that's why you don't want to touch bonds with a barge pole.